The Nordfjordbåt is a traditional wooden boat design from western Norway. It is part of the broader family of Norwegian clinker-built boats, known for their elegant lines, seaworthiness, and craftsmanship handed down over centuries. Follow along as boat builder Ingvald Sonde, born 1902, builds this boat at Rig in Gloppen. Here the keel made of pine is being cut. The keel is the structural backbone of the boat, running along the bottom from the stem to the stern. It needs to be grooved and must be done with an axe. Then it's smoothed with a curved plane. And the keel notch is carved. Then it's made smooth and straight. The keel is finished and is fastened to the boat jig. The stern and stem are cut from solid birchwood, with the right natural bend so they match the shape of the boat and aren't twisted against the grain. It's flattened so it's perfectly even and true. Here it is roughly measured using fingers. A marking tool is used to mark the inside thickness of about 1.5 inches and outside 3/4 of an inch. It is carved, fitted, and must be refined with the axe. The keel and floor timber are placed on the jig, and the stem is mounted to establish the correct rake. The stem is fitted and temporarily nailed in place. Here, the floor timber is adjusted to fit perfectly into the keel and be the right thickness. Now, tar is being applied. It's mixed with flour to be thickened and adhere well to the wood. Then tarred oakum is placed on to seal properly. Oakum is a traditional caulking material, made from loose fibers, historically old hemp rope that has been shredded or picked apart. It is soaked in pine tar to make it water-resistant and more durable. Now it's riveted in place. Now the stem is nailed firmly, sighted using a plumb line from the center of the boat. The length is measured and the ronin is taken. Ronin is the camber the boat will have when finished. The camber should be 10 to 12 inches deeper than the boat's depth. That means 30 to 32 inches at the front and 4 inches less in the back. Now the final length is determined to ensure it's just right from stem to stern. The sawing of the halcyon or shoulder braces. They are just marked by eye. You need a line to follow on the bandsaw. Before, this was done with a large adze called a halsbull or shoulder adze. The first notch is made. Then the shoulder is fitted to the floor timber, stem, and keel. You can see you get pretty close with just axe work. The shoulder is now fitted, and the joints must be adjusted. This is done by eye. You must visualize the right shape. The shoulder greatly affects how the boat will turn out. It takes quite a bit of time to shape and fit a proper shoulder. The shoulder notches are carved. The front ones are cut on the inside, the rear ones on the outside. They are about 3 inches overlap. The board is marked to guide where the nails will go. The shoulder is nailed to the floor timber, but riveted at the keel. Here tarred oakum is cut to width. The tar is applied and the oakum is laid in place. The tar is thick enough that the oakum sticks until the shoulder is nailed in. Now the shoulder is fastened. It is riveted to the keel. The hammer you see underneath is called the self-holder. It's like having an extra person to help brace while working. The shoulders are on, and the sandua or joint between front and back shoulders is going in. The front notches are laid and the sandua can be fixed in place. The sandua is fastened at the back with a clamp. The bevel gauge is used to check the angle. There it's secured and should now be nailed to the keel. Along the wedge, holes are drilled for the rivets. The rivet stems are cut and pounded over. Now working the notch on the front shoulder, preparing to add the forward stem end. Now to attach the forward stem end. Notice the plank sags heavily, it's low at the rear. It's clamped at the forward stem. Then cleats are added along the plank farther back. As you clamp the cleats, the plank bends. Eventually, it aligns, and now the back part of the plank is lifted. Here, external bracing is added. You must always hit the rivet, or you could split the plank. The boat bottom is now trimmed, and the ribs are added. This is a front frame. A shaped pencil is used to trace it along the plank while also marking the rib. It's carved to make it harmonious with the boat. A smoothing plane is used to shape the rib inside. Now it's ready to be fastened. Don't nail in the center of the plank, it can split. Closer to the splice, lower down is better. Now it's time for the forward strakes. One shear strake is nailed. This has to be exact. If this doesn't line up, neither will the edge. It's clamped and checked for fit. The bevel gauge checks the shape. You often see it by eye, but this tool helps confirm accuracy. Now the strake is riveted. Spikes are made for the shear rail. These are driven through the strake and shear rail just to hold until the gunnel is added. The gunnel is the top edge of the boat's side, the rim or rail along the side of the hull. The shear rail is in and holes are drilled for spikes. They go through into the gunnel. Then the axe and saw are used to finish them after mounting. Now the knees are being added. These are curved knees that will reach up to the gunnel. The bevel gauge shows how much rise the gunnel needs. Carved accordingly, the gunnel is set to follow the rib and a brace is added mid-knee. Then the knee is bent to the other side of the boat and fastened to the rib where the knee strut ends. Here, the front rib is being shaped. Fully finished and installed in the boat. Here, the length of the gunnel is measured. It should extend beyond the brace band. Then we mark up the gunnels and shape them. They are fully planed, and here the edge of the overlaps is trimmed. Here is the aft gunnel that's going in. The front one has already been mounted. You fit the board at both the front and back, and install the stem end last. Checking that the bevel is correct. The angle is marked and the board is removed. Then the angle is cut and planed. The gunnels are now fitted, and the rounded trim is attached. A round strip along the top edge of the gunnel, running the full length of the boat. It's fastened with screws. The oarlocks or caper are going on, and they're shaped to fit where they belong. The oarlock is done and attached to the oarlock pins. It's drilled into the shear rail and driven in. Here, the oarlock hole is being drilled. The stem is shaped to get the right form and a nice appearance. The forward floorboards are being fitted into the boat. The floorboards are rough cut with an axe and planed smooth. The front floorboard is in place, and here is the back one. The flooring is done, and now the seats or tofters must be fitted. The seats rest on the shear rail, the front seat is in place, and this is the steering seat. Now the boat will be turned over and cleaned up. Now that the boat has been turned, the parts below the stem and keel can be trimmed off. The floor timber is planed to match the stem and keel. Now the boat is being tarred. Of course, you can use whatever coating you want, but traditionally it's been tar. That was used to treat a Nordfjord boat, but of course many new coatings exist now, so tar isn't always used. Now you measure the length of the oars. They should be twice as long as the boat is wide. Plus the lomen. The lomen is the handle of the oar. Then the oars are cut to shape. Here you plane the oars and give them the final shaping, so they catch the water well and are good to row with. The handle is shaped. Using the axe first. And then a carving knife and sandpaper to make the handle smooth and comfortable to hold. Installing the oarlock rope ring. They are made from birch twigs of the right thickness. These were a bit thick, but that also makes them stronger. Everything made from birch twigs used for oarlocks before was called hamley. Now people use both rope and even wire. And now comes the launching. The boat can't be too heavy if one person can both turn it over and launch it alone. It's exciting to see how it looks on the water. Here, the neighbor has come along for a proper testing of the boat. Looks like it's going quite well.
Båten kan inte vara så tung när det grejer detta alene. Bara snurna och säcka ut och